So I'm Sean. I'm a tech entrepreneur. I've done 2 startups. I'm an MBA. I really like to talk about my companies, TSS Radio and TransFS, but at the same time I spend all day talking about them already. And so I was looking for something else to talk about. And they're also not a very good topic for Ignite, so I thought that what I would talk about, and also like those logos, they're good logos. We have a designer, but they lack a little bit for the big presentation here. Oh, there we go. That's my son, Charlie. So I figured I'd talk about Charlie, and we had a long time to wait because, babies from when they're conceived until they're born, it takes like 9 months, and I didn't really realize that, but it's a long time, especially when you're waiting. You know what they say about a pot? Oh, okay, there we go. And I'm not a doctor, but we did, and I'm not a psychologist or an educator or anything like that, but I do want my kid to be smart. And so we started to do some research during this long incubation period to try and figure out how to give him all the advantages that we could. And so I read some books. Oh, you see that's a stack of books. It's like 4 or 5. The top one's open because I'm not done with it yet. And and I was just studying up a little bit on this, and I learned a few things. My wife, right there, she's really hot, isn't she? She read a lot more books, and so you are all the beneficiaries of it. And I figured I would just distill it down because there really is a ton of reading. And my child is only like 7 weeks old, so this only covers the 0 to 6 month period. So there are some books that were particularly useful, and I've distilled some of the learnings that we got from those books into this slideshow. And there really are only a few things that you need to do to make sure that your child grows up to, at least during the 0 to 6 period, is pretty smart. And I'm not an expert. Oh, breastfeeding. That's really good for them. It's good for their brains. It's also good for them in other ways. Now, it's looking for a picture like this that being an open floor plan in your office becomes a little bit awkward. So the first thing that I learned is that it's really good to point out sounds to them and to talk to them all the time. So you might be walking in the park and hear a bird or a dog and say, oh, that's a bird or a dog. That's really good for them. I read that in at least 2 of those books. All right, it's also good to read them books. And the kind of books, I didn't realize this because I really like stories, and I actually read some nonfiction every now and then too. You don't read them blogs. They like books that are in black and white because they perceive those colors earlier than they perceive other colors. Also, rhyming books are good, and they don't really get stories until they're a little bit older. All right, so that's good. Books are good. Mobiles are also good because for children, their vision is very tightly linked. I didn't know this. To their early brain development. So you want to show them things that are visually interesting. Mobiles are great because they move and they're colorful. They link the shapes and the colors and stuff. All right, parentees. So when you talk to them, you're actually not supposed to talk to them like you're an adult. And I always thought people sound ridiculous when they're talking to their kids in these weird sort of sing-songy voices, but there's actually a science to that. They learn better when you talk to them that way, but not nonsense talk. Just use a lot of inflection. All right, making faces at them is also really good, I've learned. So smiling at them and sticking out your tongue and getting them to mimic you. Talking close to their face is also good. And puppets, they love puppets. Now when playing with the puppets, it's important to note that very young babies, they don't have a very long field of vision. It's actually a little bit more like here. So that was one that I learned. All right, here's another strategy. Rattles. Rattles are good for them. In particular, this is sort of a trick of hacking your young child's brain. It's good for them to move their eyes from one side to the other and back again. That plays an important role in development. So we're trying to do that. Watching television is like a giant no-no. In every single one of those books, it says don't watch television with your children. Not even those kids shows like I don't even know what they're called, but the kids shows. And especially no commercials because their attention span is really short, and they don't realize that the story is being interrupted by these commercials and then starting up again later. All right, manipulative play is good, and so is holding your child close a lot of the time. There are all these crazy raps, and they rap in different ways, and they're really hard to learn. But once you do it, it's good because you can hold the child close to you, which believe it or not only makes them happy, but also plays an important role in their brain development. Oh, that's a long slide. So these are some, we're coming to the end. These are some of the things that I've learned. I'm not like an expert or anything. It's just, a short summary of some of the tactics out there. I think it's important to be tactical. What is this? Oh yeah, sign language. This is another thing, and this is a little bit edgy, as I understand it. But apparently, even for hearing children, it can be useful to teach them sign language at a young age. And in addition to helping them develop mentally, it also can make them less frustrated because they learn to make these signs before they can speak, and they don't get frustrated because they can't express themselves. They can tell you that they're hungry or that they have a dirty diaper, which is pretty cool. And I wait till my child can do that because right now I just have to guess. All right, well, thank you.